urged them. President of ASU, Professor Biodun Ogunyemi, in a letter written to the chapter chairman of the union, directed members not to fill the personnel verification form. Professor Ogunyemi said while the union was not against any verification exercise, the form of the exercise being distributed requires the supply of IPPIS number, implying a trap to forcefully migrate the union members into the IPPIS. Advocacy group Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project (SERAP) has asked Bayelsa State Governor Saraike Dixon not to assent to the proposed life pension bill for lawmakers in the state. SERAP made the request in an open letter to Bayelsa State Governor Dixon to reject the proposed life pension bill for the lawmakers. The rights group, in the letter by its Deputy Director Kolawole, said public officials have a legal commitment to discharge a public duty truthfully and faithfully. The group said it will institute legal proceedings to challenge the legality of the legislation and ensure full compliance with constitutional provisions and Nigeria's international anti-corruption obligations should Governor Dixon assent to the bill. The bill, which was proposed last week by the leader of the House of Assembly, Peter Akpe, seeks to grant life pensions to speakers, deputy speakers, and other members. Under the bill, speakers will go home with 500,000 naira monthly, while deputy speakers will receive 200,000 naira, and other members will get 100,000 naira each, including former lawmakers that served the old River State who are now from Bayelsa State. The Nigerian Navy has said 19 imposters were arrested by its operatives in the first quarter of 2019. Spokesman of the Nigerian Navy, Commodore Suleiman Dahun, disclosed this in a statement circulated in the media. Dahun stated that 13 of the imposters were arrested in Calabar Kang area, 5 in Yenogwa Port Harcourt area, and 1 in Lagos area. He said the criminals were arrested either in possession of fake Navy ID card or dressed in Navy uniforms, camouflage or blue rig. Spokesman of the Nigerian Navy, Commodore Suleiman Dahun, therefore warned that wearing an illegal possession of military hardwares was unlawful and punishable under the Nigerian Criminal Code. The people of Boazakpon community in Kana local government area have urged all cultists causing unrest in the area to turn a new leaf, surrender their arms and ammunition, or risk being arrested and prosecuted. Some indigents of Boazakpon community who spoke during a town hall security meeting said they can no longer go to their farms, schools and business places following the violence of the cultists in the community. The respondents called for immediate intervention by government at all levels to salvage the situation.
The crisis has affected community. Our children can no longer go to school. The women in the community can no longer go to market or to do trading. The churches can no longer hold. And so we are calling on everybody to come back and let's give peace a chance.
My call for them is to desist from this habit that cause this kind of mayhem in our community. They should be law-abiding citizens and put up things that can give their life a meaning. I also want government to intervene, maybe provide handwork, skill acquisition, and other things that can make them change from this other habit they are putting up.
On his part, a prominent indigene of the community, Gani Toba, who convened the town hall meeting of the people of Boazakwan, said the community is now partnering with security agencies to ensure peace returns to the area. Gani Toba, who is also the leader of the conscience of Ogoni people, blamed traditional institutions in Boazakwan for allowing cult gangs to take over the community.
Community is secure, so we are showing people come back home. And the community have taken a decision that one, every day ban and day wear, community must summon their gun because we cannot allow anybody to hold gun in our community. So we give them Saturday, all the boys that were shooting guns, to come and plead and tell the community sorry for what they have done to our community and summon their gun. The community have also related clearly that nobody should carry the name of Solomon Idibara, Tom Ateketom, that is destroying Zakwa. But the community decided that if there is any Zakwa son that is loyal to any of them or working with them that come to the community to cause trouble, the community will approach them to release the person to government. You know, in our community, we have some challenges when it comes to traditional rulers. And we also agree at the town square today that all acclaim of traditional rulers in our community to be set aside. We're going to form a governing council because they are failed on their duty. So the governing council will work with the councillor and the local government and state government and federal government because peace must return to Zakwa.
Boazakwan in Kana local government area of River State is among communities in the state where armed youths have run riot in what the police has described a cold war. The traditional institution of Bowe community, also in Kana local government area of River State, has issued a 24-hour ultimatum to call groups to vacate the community or face the full wrath of the law. All the villages in Bowe are in the same vein directed to organize a neighborhood watch to end the activities of cultists and miscreants in the community. These were some of the resolutions made after a security meeting held over the weekend in Bori and convened by the paramount ruler of Boe, Ambassador Talo Tonwe, with the Bori area commander and other security chiefs in attendance. The stakeholders enjoined members of cult groups to surrender their arms and allow development to thrive in the community. In the communique issued at the end of the meeting, the paramount ruler of Boe, Ambassador Tonwe, said the resolutions were part of the directive of the River State Governor for traditional rulers to nip the spread of cult clashes and criminal activities in the bud. Meanwhile, the River State Police Command has denied reports that 42 persons and 7 policemen were killed in the state and that the corpse was arrested at Ahoda East local government area. The command, in a statement by its spokesman, DSP Namdi Omoni, says that the said reports are false, unverifiable, fake news, and do not bear true semblance of the situation in the state. He added that the reports are smear campaigns intended to lower the rising reputation and integrity of the River State Police Command and portray officers and men of the command as being docile, complacent, and not living up to her requisite obligations. He said the reports are being investigated with a view to ascertaining their veracity and sources and unmask the brains behind them, adding that anybody or group implicated either directly or indirectly in these acts of treachery will be dealt with in accordance with the law. Omoni said the River State Police Command, more than ever, is poised to fight all manner of crimes and criminality in the state, not minding their own necessary distractions. A national tabloid had reported a story on the double tragedy for a family in Ochigba community in Ahoda East local government area of River State, where a group of gunmen allegedly shot and killed a young man after seizing the corpse of his mother. According to the newspaper, the incident, which allegedly happened in the community last Friday, caused serious panic among indigents of the area and visitors who came to witness the funeral of the woman. You're listening to The World News and Today 95.1 FM. After the break, we'll be back for more news on the foreign scene. Stay tuned.
Every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Welcome back. You're still listening to Today 95.1 FM. It's World News, 11 minutes after 7. The controversy trailing the suspension of 12 executive local government chairmen has continued to generate reactions, with critics faulting the action of River State Governor Nyesom Wike. Governor Wike premised his decision to suspend the elected LGA chairman on Section 64 Sub 3 of the River State Government Law Number 5 of 2018. But a Port Harcourt-based lawyer, Haya King, said the law, which the governor relied on, does not supersede the provision of the Constitution. Haya King added that the River State local government law is illegal, emphasizing that there are Supreme Court judgments addressing issues of elected local government chairmen in Nigeria.
Our Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria, even though default and ineffective, fraught with irregularities, it is still the Constitution that we are operating, even with its inadequacies. That is the Constitution, as amended 1999, as amended. So that is the Constitution we still operate. And in that Constitution, if any law in any part of Nigeria purportedly made by any House of Assembly, including the Senate, including the Federal House of Reps, including fiat by the President, the Constitution, and once it is ultra-virus, the Constitution takes over. The Constitution is the supreme norm that we have. Every other law is subsumed under the Constitution. So you cannot go and make a law that is contrary to what the Constitution says. It's illegal.
The lawyer also said rumors that the LGA chairman was suspended for allegedly engaging in anti-party activities should be addressed by the party and not the governor or the River State House of Assembly.
The person, because the person did anti-party from his elected position, you can suspend him from the party. That's the law. You suspend him from your party because what he did was anti-party. He did not do anti-people activity. He did anti-party activity. So anti-party activity should be punished by the party, not the people. If anybody does anti-people activity, he will be punished by the people through recall process. That is what we are saying. That is the procedure. When we speak, we are talking about unbiased, the right thing, although some wrong things have been going on.
12 local government chairmen, including those of Okrika, Emoha, Abrodwal, Degema, Kana, Gokana, Ahode East, Ikwere, Eleme, Andoni, Omuma, and Ogubolo were all suspended by Governor Wike for security reasons. Activists have been encouraged not to compromise, but to learn from advocates who died for standing on what they believed in. This was the outcome of a roundtable discussion held in Port Harcourt to X-ray the life of the late Ken Saro-Wiwa, who was executed for his stance against the oppression of Ogoni and the Niger Delta people. Eminent campaigners Nemo Bassi and Ken Henshaw said they have decided to re-examine the life and times of leaders that fought for human rights in order to encourage young people who desire to venture into activism.
We also consider the fact that our young people need people to inspire them. And we have got inspiring leaders in the past who were focused and who were hardworking and who achieved results. And they could also help young people to know that they could achieve the same. And we decided to start with Ken Saro-Wiwa because he was very clear with his consciousness about fighting for dignity, for justice, for environmental justice.
And it serves to remind this generation of Nigerians about the value of very deep intellectual and revolutionary thoughts that are out there. You know, you realize that a lot of the people who offered themselves up intellectually and physically even to do groundbreaking thinking and carry out groundbreaking activism and stand for groundbreaking ideas in this country have basically been forgotten.
On his part, Niger Delta-based rights campaigner Celestin Akpobari said non-governmental organizations and those in the civil society should not perceive activism as a means of survival or an income-earning enterprise.
Well, the importance of this conversation with Ken Saro-Wiwa is to keep alive his dreams, one, and to use it as a mirror in checking ourselves that if Ken was to be here, what would he be doing today? Looking through his life, looking through everything he lived and died for, and different, with Ken. What he wrote in the books, he took it to the street. Most of us don't practice what we preach. Ken practiced what he preached. He was a man that speaks truth to power and to the people. So those that are coming up today should not, think that activism is a thing that will put food on your table. Ken did not look at it that way.
It is now time for a special report. In this edition of our special report by our correspondent, Ifunanya Ebeme Ndukwe, she takes a look at the issue of environmental sanitation in River State. The aim of this report is to examine the factors that are associated with the prevalence of indiscriminate dumping of waste in order to establish the cause-effect relationship between these factors and environmental health risks in communities where wastes are dumped indiscriminately.
Sanitation is important for a day-to-day living for all in order to maintain a healthy living and enjoy longevity. In the Niger Delta, the people are confronted with daily occurrences of oil and air pollution, a menace that has remained a mirage to the people and a mystery for relevant stakeholders to solve. In River State, while the people still grapple with the obviously polluted air as a result of the black soot that has refused to go, residents also have to cope with the challenges of indiscriminate dumping of refuse. Major roads in Port Harcourt, the River State capital, are now messed up with heaps of refuse, especially on the median of the roads. The law under which the River State Waste Management Agency is established empowers RIWAMA to clean up every waste in the state. This is aimed at maintaining the garden city status of River State, but it has been much ado about nothing in the last few years because of the refusal of the people to obey the rules of bagging their refuse before dumping it. Another problem is the challenges of scavengers who tear bagged refuse to shreds and allow them to litter the roads. While some residents complained of poorly disposed wastes in their environment, others blamed the Rivers State government and its agency for being slow in evacuating dumped wastes. Some respondents said they disposed their wastes in designated points, while others expressed displeasure with the plan of the government to levy them.
You got done?
No. How do you dispose? How do you manage to dispose your debt in your environment?
The pack and drop for dustbin center now.
Where is the dustbin center?
Down that place now.
Is it government that provided?
Yes.
So if we just pack your debts and dump it? Yes.
We are disposing it at the middle of the road for the people that...
So those people that carry those debts now, are they provided by the government?
Yes, I believe that they are private people, but under contract with the government.
But the chairman of the House of Committee in Environment in Rivers State House of Assembly, Christian Ahiaku, said the House has provided the necessary support for Rewama to function effectively, adding that members of the public have refused to comply with the regulations of the environmental agency.
Assembly has done what it's supposed to do. We have Rewama, and Rewama is a product of the law made by this assembly, and the primary duty of Rewama is to manage waste in Rivers State. But one thing I must say is that people are not helping agencies of government to achieve their set goal. People are not helping. Rewama is doing a good work, but people are not working in compliance with Rewama's regulation. And of course, there is no way it could work when people are not there to cooperate with Rewama. But people are not doing that. 12 noon, people are bringing out waste. 2 p.m., people are bringing out waste. 6 p.m., people are bringing out waste. So what do you expect Rewama to do?
Ayak, who encouraged the people to baggage their waste properly, stated that the call for the provision of facilities for public waste disposal, like receptacles, will not solve the problem of indiscriminate dumping of refuse in the state.
So people, I want to use the opportunity to call on Rivers people to adhere to the regulations and policies of Rewama for better service. If Rewama say, okay, bring all your waste by 6 p.m., all waste should be brought out by 6 p.m. so that by 11 p.m. or 1 a.m., the collectors will come around and pick them up so that when you wake up in the morning, you won't see any waste. People have been advocating of opening a receptacle. That is not the way to go. It's not environmentally friendly. If you look at all the waste receptacle, reptiles are going in there, flies are going in, and they find themselves in our kitchen, perching on our foods and all that. Before you know it, you're down with either typhoid or the other likes. So the best way to go is baggage.
On his part, a medical expert, Dr. Chukwuka, spoke on the health implications of poorly disposal of wastes.
Poorly disposed waste are a health hazard to our society. They are a breeding ground to many microorganisms that affect our body systems in various ways and various devastating effects. And they have the various devastating effects on us. These wastes mostly harbor microorganisms that are transmitted either through waterways or through their vectors, and then they get into our food and then they cause certain effects on us. It's also common knowledge that the malaria vector needs a dirty environment.
Most developing countries grapple with management of solid waste and environmental health risks associated with insanitary conditions, which has made indiscriminate dumping of household and industrial waste an alternative means of waste disposal for communities that have no access to reliable refuse removal services. But the problem of indiscriminate dumping of refuse can be managed only if residents and the government can be responsible and committed to ensuring a clean and safe environment. Ifunaya Obeme Ndukwe for Today 95.1 FM.
And now to the foreign scene. Reports say ISIS is reportedly plotting to carry out a new wave of attacks across the UK and Europe using crocodile cells made up of sleeper operatives. Britain's Secret Service, MI5, are said to be investigating the plans, which involves members of the terror group hiding within Western society. It comes amid revelations that the ringleader of Sri Lanka's Easter massacre, Abdulatif Jamil Mohammed, studied at Kingston University, southwest London. The same year, a hate preacher linked to Lee Rigby's killers gave a speech promoting jihad. Jamil Mohammed was said to have been mentored by a group of notorious British ISIS fighters, including the killer known as Jihadi John, when traveling to Syria to prepare for the Sri Lanka attacks. UK counter-terrorism investigators say Mohammed attended Kingston University from 2006 to 2007 and are searching for any associates or signs of extremist activity during his time in Britain. In entertainment, a model, Tail Soares, participating in Sao Paulo's Fashion Week, has died after getting sick on the catwalk. A statement from the organizers said Soros took ill while parading. Medical team attended to him on the catwalk, and Soros was later taken to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. The statement did not provide more details about the 26-year-old model. And it's sports. A 10-man Arsenal has suffered a 3-0 Premier League defeat at Leicester City in another blow to their hopes of finishing in the top 4 and qualifying for the Champions League. Unai Emery's side were reduced to 10 men in the first half when defender Ainsley Maitland-Niles received his second booking in the 36th minute for a late challenge on James Maddison. Goals from Yuri Tielemans and Jamie Vardy double ensured Arsenal suffered a 4th loss in the last 5 league games, 3 of which have now come on the road. Arsenal remain in 5th on 66 points, with top 4 rivals Manchester United in 6th place, 64, playing 4th placed Chelsea, 67 points. And now to end the news, here's a summary of the major stories. The presidency has said President Muhammadu Buhari did not break any law in his 10-day private trip to the United Kingdom. The advocacy group SERP has asked the Bayelsa State Governor Saraki Dixon to decline assent to the life pension bill for State House of Assembly members. And we also told you that the River State Police Command has denied online reports of a corpse that was allegedly kidnapped in Ahoda East local government area of the state. And on the foreign scene, you heard that Britain's Secret Service has revealed plans by ISIS to carry out coordinated attacks in UK and parts of Europe. And that was the news as edited by Victor Ziama. For comments and inquiries, please call 081-5341-8657 or send your emails to news@todayfmlive.com. You can also read our stories on www.todayfmlive.com. I am Annie Abdusalam. Thank you for listening and have a good morning.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Harcourt, are you ready? Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people. News happens on its terms, so we give it to you on yours, the way you want it, anytime you need it. On the air, on Today 95.1 FM.
ọ̀nà owó ọ̀nà ọlá sí ọ̀rẹ́ mi máa nìkan iléeṣẹ́ ló fèlè ọ́ àṣẹ tí o sí ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ àríwá àrílò tí lọ kó wá dán lọ́rọ̀ rẹpẹtẹ.
I greet you, my baba, my mama, for this Obodo environment, where they listen to this program from the stable of No Failure Empowerment Limited, where people they enjoy better returns on any amount they invest at No Failure Empowerment Limited. Many people want to do many things, but no helper, no capacity, no way out, even self. In their work both day and night to survive, still things no work as they think. My friends, stop thinking, oh, did you know, say, you can invest today at No Failure and start a new life? Yes, no failure, no failure, no failure. Any amount you invest with us at No Failure, you will be receiving your monthly returns without stress at No Failure. Many people who don't invest with us at No Failure Empowerment can testify because at No Failure, we don't fail our investors. Different package day for No Failure, which you can invest and get your return monthly without no wahala at all. We have records of people we don't invest with us at No Failure across the country, which you can confirm how we they make them happy at No Failure. Our business at No Failure, now raw material business to manufacturing companies outside the country. At No Failure, we don't do internet business though, where they chop people money for time. Our raw material business are in series. We have cashew seed, charcoal, cocoa, and others to many manufacturing companies outside the countries for their daily productions. And we have investment package in series at No Failure, which you can be part of us and make money monthly without stress. You invest with us at No Failure when it's time for your return to be paid. No Failure, don't they wait for any dollar to drop before we pay you. Oh. At No Failure, we get our standard of making our investors happy at all time. You can call us on this number 0802 662 4284. 0802 662 4284. Once again, 0802 662 4284. No Failure Office, this Suite 57, Dumek Plaza, at the back of Area 1 Shopping Complex, Garike, Abuja. Our people for Port Harcourt and its environment. No Failure Office, day number 4, Ada George Road, Port Harcourt. With day number 15, Dokpemu Road, Church Bus Stop, Dokpemu, Lagos. Number 4, Imam Ojoku Street, Morikas, Agege, Lagos. With day Ada Okuta for Ogun State, Iwo Road for Ibadan, Asadam for Ilorin, Okioniti for Osogbo, Oyemekun Road for Akure. For Kano, No Failure Office, day number 541, Katsina Airport Roundabout, near Nightel Center, Kano. To be a member, you have to register with 2 passport photographs and 3,000 naira to be a member at No Failure. Better still, you can download our No Failure app on Google Play Store to register immediately. My friend, all this address no be agent office or where we just arrange for talking. Now our office and our staff go attend to you well. Make you not say you know here No Failure, no get any representative for town so that they no go talk say now we send them to your side See us and we shall attend to your request and make you happy with any amount you invest with us at No Failure offices. Don't say kosi again You can call us on this number 0802 662 4284 0802 662 4284. Once again 0802 662 4284. Join us and enjoy our services at No Failure. No Failure say, as we enter this new year, you know go failure, no failure. Now for the betterment of everybody.
My friend, waiting day now.
It get as a bill. Things no smooth at all. Everything just dey somehow. In fact, many debts dey my neck where I don't know how I go do am. Business where I dey do, money no flow for there. All my customers wey hold me money save no pay. My friend, I never know wetin I go do to survive.
Shebi I tell you about No Failure. You dey say na lie. Now the small money where I get, now here I use invest for their company. Where we say, now every month they pay me. Now so everybody for town, we no one fail, they enjoy for No Failure. Because now every month them they pay their investors. Shibia they show you my alert. But you go to say, na lie.
Now my past experience, they make me fear.
See my alert again. Doubt no they do person any good oh. Now so all the people wey invest for No Failure, they smile every month. Because No Failure investment no be wuru business. My brother self, where they outside country, they benefit from No Failure.
Okay, give me their number, make I try, because I don't want fail again.
You fit call No Failure with this number 080-2662-4284. Once again, 080-2662-4284. No Failure office there for Suite 57, Dumek Plaza, Area 1, Gariki, Abuja. Number 4, Ada George Road, Port Harcourt. Number 16, Dokpemu Road, Church Bus Stop, Dokpemu, Lagos. And Marikas, Agege, Lagos.
Please listen to this announcement. We, the family of late Chief Kina Wibana, regrets to announce the death of our father, son, husband, uncle, and brother, late Dr. Lucky Kina, who was assassinated on the 24th of November 2018 in his hometown. Burial arrangements, service of songs, the 2nd of May 2019 at Baham Methodist Church, Nigeria, 69 Agri Road, Port Harcourt, time 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Commendation service on the 4th of May 2019 at Baham MCN 69 Agri Road, time 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. And funeral service will be on the 4th of May 2019 at MCN Kepian Kana Local Government Area, time 10:30 a.m. Signed, Dr. Christian Kina for the family.
This good. Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
A very good morning to you all out there. Welcome to another exciting edition of Sports Attack reaching you from the studios of a premium news talk and sports radio station. Today, 95.1 FM right here in Port Harcourt. It's Monday, the 29th day of April 2019. To God be the glory. Emeka Dena is my name, and I'm being joined this morning by the one and only Chidubem Njoku. Chidubem, good morning, and welcome to Sports Attack this morning.
Good morning, Emeka.
And of course, we shall be serving you the latest and trending sports stories that made the rounds over the weekend in the ever-exciting world of sports. So stay with us. Don't go anywhere, because we'll be right back to unfold the details after this timeout. All right, let's start the show this morning from badminton, because Team Nigeria emerged champions of the just concluded All-Africa Senior Championships here in Port Harcourt after a dominant display at the Alfred Dieterspeak Sports Complex. The victorious Nigerians were handed their medals by the Rivers State Governor, Chief Barrister Nyesom Wike, at the closing ceremony yesterday, which also had the Minister of Sports, Barrister Solomon Dalong, in attendance. In the meantime, Africa's number Dorcas Adeshokor defeated Africa's best player, Kate Fukun of Mauritius, in straight sets to win gold in the female singles event. With the victory, the Ogun State-born player is now set to depose Kate Fukun as new Africa number one. It delighted Dorcas Sports Attack exclusively this morning.
I'm so happy and delighted because I wasn't expecting the game to even be like that. It was two straight matches, and it was not that difficult. It went so easy, and I'm so happy, and I can't even express how I'm feeling, even up to now, because of the very great job.
All right. Also, Nigeria's number one player, Anolu Akpayori, emerged champion in the men's singles event after defeating fellow Nigerian Godwin Olofua in 3 sets, 21-17, 15-21, and 21-17. Let's hear from Okpayori.
This is the moment I've been waiting for, actually, to be crowned with my teammate Dorcas, as she won the women's singles. So I was happy that both of us won it as a Nigerian. So this year it will be changed to Nigeria as King of Africa.
All right, that was Anolu Akpayori, the men's singles champion. Earlier, Dorcas Adeshokor and Deborah Uke teamed up to defeat compatriots Ibere Chineye and Amin Christopher in the final of the women's doubles to clinch gold for Nigeria. Now, their male counterparts were, however, unable to do the same, as they were beaten 2-0 by Algeria in the men's doubles. The Algerians also got the better of Nigeria in the mixed doubles finals with the North African duo of Kosila Mameri and Linda Masri defeating Nigeria's Nejo Abba and Peace Oji in 3 sets, 15-21, 21-16, 21-18 to win gold. Nigeria had earlier clinched gold in the mixed team event, beating Mauritius 3-2 in the final. Chidubem, it has finally come to an end. The All-Africa Senior Championships finished yesterday in Port Harcourt. But come on, how would you assess the performance of Team Nigeria?
I think it was brilliant. Before the tournament had begun, they gave us the hopes, high hopes as it were.
Yeah, they say you are hosting to win.
Of course, they were going to do very well. We even had a number of them in the studios. The coach, Dorcas herself, was here, as well as Enejo, and they promised us they were going to deliver the goods, and they've done that in fantastic fashion. Very good one for them, for Dorcas, for Okpayori. Congratulations to them.
Very soon they will become Africa number one. A good one there for those guys there. Let's bring you more good news, but this time from volleyball, where host Nigeria defeated Niger Republic 2-0, 21-18, 21-16 the female category of the 2019 Africa Beach Volleyball Cup Seniors at the Jabil Lake, Abuja, to secure a ticket for the 2019 Beach Volleyball World Championships to hold in Germany later this year. Nigeria's Tochukwu Noruga and Francisca Ikede fought hard to beat Rakatu Seidu and Rokuya Gaba of Niger Republic in the quarterfinals of the ongoing tournament. Meanwhile, the Nigerian male team lost to Africa's number one team, Mozambique 2-0. The Mozambicans won 21-15, 21-16 in the quarterfinal as well. In boxing on the show this morning, Anthony Joshua is preparing to face Andy Ruiz Jr. as a replacement opponent for his debut in the United States. According to sources in the United States, the American is the front runner to fight Britain's 4-belt heavyweight champion at Madison Square Garden in New York on the 1st of June after Jarrell Big Baby Miller was banned following a failed drugs test. Ruiz Jr. has won 32 of his 33 fights, but was beaten on points by former WBO champion Joseph Parker in 2016. one of those dead bodies in quote that you bring the way of Anthony Joshua.
True. They say when the desirable is not available, then the available becomes desirable, and that's the case for Anthony Joshua at this moment. He failed to get Big Baby Miller, so now you think that any other option on the cards will be okay for him.
All right, at least for now. Let's talk tennis. Where a dominant Dominic team proved too good for Daniel Medvedev as he eased to victory in the final of the Barcelona Open yesterday. The Austrian cruised to a fine 6-4, 6-love win on the red clay at the Real Club de Tennis for his second title of the year, adding to his triumph in Indian Wells last month. Now, team who defeated Roger Federer in the California desert to claim his maiden Masters 1000 title, beat Rafael Nadal in the semi-finals at Barcelona to become the first player other than Novak Djokovic to defeat the Spaniard on clay 4 times. Team didn't lose a set during his title campaign in Barcelona. It was a 13th career singles title for the 25-year-old, his 9th on clay. Let's hear from him.
It means so much to me to win here because it's a really special tournament, amazing tournament. Only the greatest players in the history won here. Rafa 11 times, of course, then Thomas Muster, which means a lot to me that I'm the second Austrian to be on the trophy as well.
All right, that was a Dominic Thiem, the Barcelona Open champion. Let's talk Formula One on the show this morning because Mercedes set an all-time record of 4 consecutive 1-2s at the start of a season as Valtteri Bottas beats Lewis Hamilton to win the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in Baku yesterday. For the 4th race in a row, Ferrari were unable to challenge Mercedes, and again, there were questions about the strategy chosen by the Italian team. Sebastian Vettel finished 3rd, never very far behind the Mercedes, but teammate Charles Leclerc finished 5th when it looked for a while as if he might have been able to take 4th ahead of Red Bull's Max Verstappen. Bottas returns to the lead of the championship, leading Hamilton by 1 point. He gained for the fastest lap in Australia. Vettel is 35 points behind. A delighted Valtteri Bottas, who won the race in Azerbaijan yesterday, spoke afterwards.
Really satisfying, and obviously starting from the pole, you hope the less drama, the better it is normally. So very pleased with that, and yeah, could really control the race. I have to say at some points Lewis was very quick and put in pressure, but I just had to do it without mistakes, and yeah, that was all good. So I'm really pleased. And
all right, Chidube, Mercedes are already running away with the title. 4 races, 1-2, 1-2. I mean, amazing. Is it too early to rule out the other teams, especially Ferrari, who we expected to give them a run for their money?
With the way Ferrari is going, it's almost not too early to say that because it looks like it's going to be a battle between Hamilton and Bottas rather than a battle between Mercedes and Ferrari. There were hopes that Vettel was going to break through this season and give us back that dominance we used to see him do some years before. But unfortunately, it hasn't been that way. Leclerc, who started as a bright spark, managed to fumble. We remember the fact that he crashed in the trials yesterday, but a good one for Mercedes is cruise control they are taking now, and hopefully they see it out at the end of the season.
Cruise control for Mercedes. The first 4 races of the season, 1-2 for Mercedes. Ferrari nowhere to be found. That's all on other sports. Sports Attack will go on a quick break. When we come back, it'll be time to serve you all the football stories you've been waiting for. Don't go anywhere because we'll be right back after this timeout.
For the best and most incisive sporting reports, tune in to Sports Attack on Today95.1 FM every week morning at 7:30 a.m. My name is Daniel Igale, President of the Nigeria Wrestling Federation. I also listen to the show.
All right, welcome back. The show is still Sports Attack, and of course, it's time to serve you football stories this morning. We'll start from the State FA Cup finals, where MFM FC were yesterday knocked out of the 2019 Lagos State FA Cup as Box to Box FC came from a goal down to beat the Fidelis Lechuku-led side 2-1 in the 5th round of the competition. Not even in the final, in the 5th round of the competition. Elsewhere, Rangers International cruised to a 4-1 victory over Star Plus FC in the final of the Enugu State FA Cup. And the skipper, Bryce Silas, compounded the injury woes of the Flying Antelopes, picking up a knock moment after netting the second goal for his team. Isif Traore had earlier put Rangers in front with a fine header off Kevin Itoya's corner kick on 13 minutes. Benga Ogumbote made it a complete route in the second. Benga Ogumbote's men made it a complete route in the second half, with a 54-minute penalty by Ousmane Zaidins and an easy finish by Seka Pascal in the 70th minute. Rangers and Star Plus will represent Enugu State in the ITO Cup. Elsewhere, Akwa United ended a controversial run in the Akwa Ibom State FA Cup with a 1-0 victory over Kofine. The Promise Keepers fielded a strong side with current MPFA top scorer Mfon Odo, Ndifreke Effiong, and Jean Fala all started. And Effiong Gospel got the only goal in the encounter, cutting through the Kofine FC defense before unleashing a beautiful strike in the 46th minute. Here in Port Harcourt, Rivers United defeated Port Harcourt City Academy by a goal to nothing to emerge champions of the Rivers State FA Cup. But of course, upset already, big one at that in Lagos. MFM FC did not even get to the final. They were knocked out by Box to Box FC. What a name! Box to Box FC boxed out MFM from the competition over there in Lagos.
Amazing, I tell you, amazing. This is what this competition is built to be. It's supposed to give you these particular cup sets where you see some of the big sides getting kicked out of the competition. It's unfortunate we saw situations where some of the big sides refused to get kicked out at some point, but MFM has kissed the competition goodbye. Well, it's not the best of ways to go, judging by their form in the league, but it's a different ball game when it comes to cup competitions. They're out. And they will fight next time.
Did you hear that Imba did not play Abia Warriors after all in the Abia State FA Cup?
Yeah.
What was the reason? They say they are saving money, both teams. That's a waste of time to play the state final right there. Very, very laughable reason given by those sides over there in Abia State. Let's go to Tanzania, where Cameroon has emerged champions of Africa at the under-17 level after defeating Guinea 5-3 on penalties, having played out a barren draw in regulation time in the final of the under-17 AFCON right there in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. The victory is only the second in the history of the Cameroonians, who also won the competition in 2003, defeating Sierra Leone 1-0 in the title decider in Swaziland. In related development, Nigeria's under-17 national team, the Golden Eagles, fell 2-1 to Angola in the losers final of the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations, under-17 Africa Cup of Nations tournament right there in Tanzania. Having lost to Guinea on penalties in the semi-final stage, the Eagles could not console themselves with a third-place finish as they fell to a 10-man Angolan side. All four teams that reached the semi-final stage will present Africa at the FIFA Under-17 World Cup in Brazil later this year. Chidibem, how would you assess the Under-17 and their performance at the just concluded AFCON tournament right there in Tanzania?
Well, I think it's mixed feelings. Basically a nostalgic feeling. It's a feeling of happiness because we saw quite a number of good players on that team. Give us good display. At least we can have the hope that going further they could stick together and do very well. And on the other hand, yes, the failure to clinch the tournament. We know in this country we love to win tournaments. It's the glory that comes with it. It's always almost inevitable when it comes to Nigeria. But it happened this way. We finished fourth, but a good one for the boys.
Good one for the boys. They are through to the World Cup later this year. That World Cup will be holding in Brazil. And of course, talking about the Under-20 World Cup, the Flying Eagles are already in Germany. They arrived yesterday morning and they will be camping there for about 3 weeks before heading to Poland for the Under-20 World Cup, which starts on the 23rd of May and ends on the 15th of June. And of course, we hear that Samuel Chukwueze is built to join the team at some point, and some other high-profile players who are also based in Europe. What do you make of the Flying Eagles camping in Germany ahead of the World Cup in Poland?
It's a nice decision because Germany is just a stone throw from Poland, their neighbors basically. So it will be good for them to acclimatize to the weather because a bulk of them are home-based. So it's always good you go over there and get yourself in tune with the weather so you don't get to complain when the competition starts proper. Good one for them.
All right, in the CAF Champions League, we the semi-final results, first leg semi-final results, the CAF Champions League. We are with that Casablanca defeated Mamelodi Sundowns 2-1 over the weekend. Elsewhere, Esperance of Tunisia, we are 1-0 winners over TP Mazembe. Advantage with that and Esperance after first leg. But of course, second leg comes up next weekend. In the CAF Confederation Cup semi-final first leg, we have it here as well. CS Sfaxien did beat RSB Bekane of Morocco 2-0. And in the other semi-final encounter, Zamalek secured a 1-0 victory over Etoile du Sahel of Tunisia. Let's quickly go to Europe right now. All right, it was another evening to forget for David De Gea as the Spaniards blunder-handed Chelsea the advantage in the race for the top four after a 1-1 draw with Manchester United at Old Trafford yesterday. United started brightly and took the lead through Juan Mata's close-range finish after a fine team move, but De Gea's week went from bad to worse as he fumbled Antonio Rudiger's long-range shot into Marcos Alonso's path, allowing the defender to squeeze home. The Wolves struggled to break down Chelsea in a difficult second half, and Marcos Rojo was lucky not to see red for a nasty tackle on Willian before the Argentine saw his own header cleared off the line by Pedro later on. But for United, it looks like a season outside of Europe's elite competition for only the second time since 1995. Speaking after the encounter, Manchester United coach Ole Gunnar Solskjaer says despite consecutive high-profile blunders, he has no problem with his goalkeeper, David De Gea.
You know, when you're a goalkeeper or if you're a striker, you're always in the spotlight. And any time you either miss a chance or you score, you get the either bad or good headlines. The same with David when he makes great saves. He's been in the spotlight for the right reasons for so long, and then now he's going through a period where he probably feels he can have done better, but. No, I don't have any worries about him.
All right, it's now time to hear from the Chelsea manager Mauricio Sarri, who also spoke after the encounter yesterday.
But to play here in Manchester against United, I think it's very difficult for us, but for every team. They played very well in the first 20-25 minutes. We were in trouble. We were in trouble, in my opinion, because we had not the right distances between the striker Higuain and the midfield.
Elsewhere, Manchester City moved ahead of Liverpool in the Premier League title race after overcoming a 10 test to beat Burnley 1-0. City were frustrated for an hour at Turf Moor, but Sergio Aguero broke the deadlock in the 63rd minute when his shot from close range went just over the line before Matt Lowton could clear. Now, the win is City's 12th in a row in the Premier League and takes the Citizens 1 point ahead of rivals Liverpool at the top of the table. Pep Guardiola is the manager of Manchester City.
We deserve to win. We create a lot of chances. The result 0-1 is short for our performance. So delight for the way we controlled them. So we didn't concede one corner in this stadium. We didn't concede few chances because it's impossible to control Vards because he's a master to control these balls, to fell down.
All right, at the King Power Stadium, it was Arsenal who suffered their third consecutive loss in the Premier League as they fell 3-0 to Leicester City. England international Jamie Vardy bagged a brace and got the third goal as a young defender, actually, Nathan Niles was sent off in the first half. A decision on Emery, the coach of Arsenal, was furious about.
We started with a strong idea here to be competitive and the possibility to win, but with this decision, the 2 yellow card is more difficult.
Right, let's review all the results of matches played in the Premier League over the weekend. On Friday night, Liverpool were imperious, and of course, they hammered Huddersfield Town 5-0. Tottenham Hotspur were beaten at home at the new stadium by West Ham United by a lone goal. Crystal Palace battled to goalless draw with Everton. Elsewhere, relegated Fulham defeated Cardiff by 1-0. It ended 3-3 between Southampton and Bournemouth. Elsewhere, Watford were beaten at home by Wolverhampton Wanderers, while Brighton and Hove Albion could only draw 1-1 with Newcastle United. Leicester City trashed Arsenal 3-0. Manchester City 1-0 winners over Burnley away from home, and Manchester United in late game yesterday played at a 1-1 draw with Chelsea. Chudubim, the top four race is getting thicker and thicker. Which two teams do you think will miss out of the top four in England? Chelsea, Manchester City and Liverpool are guaranteed already. The Spurs are in third spot right now. Chelsea are fourth as we speak. Arsenal fifth, right?
Yeah. And
of course, we have Manchester United in sixth place. So which two teams do you think will eventually drop out?
It's tough because these teams, you can never really bet on any of them. This week, in fact, they've mastered the art of losing and drawing games in recent times. So it's difficult to pick who goes through. But you would think the balance of things, Chelsea look poised to go through, as well as...
If they had won yesterday, they would have secured the top four finish.
True. Tottenham and Chelsea, perhaps. Arsenal have been quite abysmal. 3 losses on the bounce. Manchester United themselves are neither here or there. So I would think that Chelsea and Tottenham have got what it takes to qualify.
All right, let's go to Italy, where Cristiano Ronaldo scored his 600th goal of his club career to end Italian champions Juventus a 1-0 draw away to Inter in the Serie A over the weekend. The Turin club wrapped up an 8th successive league title last weekend, but found themselves behind only to a wonder striker from Inter midfielder Ryan Nainggolan. And however, the Portuguese responded with a powerful finish in the second half to hit 20 league goals for the season, moving within 2 strikes of Serie A leading scorer Fabio Quagliarella of Sampdoria in the process. Let's look at the results of matches played in Italy over the weekend. Bologna 3-1 winners over Empoli. Roma defeated Cagliari 3-0. It ended 1-1 between Inter and Juventus. Frosinone were handed a 2-0 defeat at home by Napoli, and of course Juve Verona played at a 1-0 draw with Parma. Spal equally drew 1-1 with Genoa. Lazio defeated Sampdoria 2-1 away from home. Torino defeating AC Milan 2-0 last night. And of course, later tonight we have Atalanta versus Udinese, while Fiorentina will battle Sassuolo. Chidubem, 600 club goals for Ronaldo. Amazing. Here, Messi is just 2 goals shy.
Absolutely amazing from the man. It's brilliant what these two players have been able to do in this particular century. It's quite brilliant for Cristiano Ronaldo, and the man looks like he's still scoring, so it doesn't just end here.
All right, in Spain, Barcelona wrapped up their 26th La Liga title with a sluggish victory over Levante thanks to a goal from second-half substitute Lionel Messi. Ahead of Wednesday's Champions League semi-final first leg with Liverpool, Messi began the game on the bench. The Argentine forward came on at the interval following a goalless first half and scored just after the hour mark. He latched onto Arturo Vidal's header and beat 2 defenders before stroking the ball past Aitor Fernandez. That win ensured Barcelona won the title and retained it after clinching it as well last season. Looking at the results of matches played over the weekend, right there in the La Liga, Valencia did lose at home to Eibar by a 1-0. Real Betis drew goalless with Espanyol. Girona were 1-0 winners over Sevilla. And of course, we can also let you know that Atletico Madrid did beat Real Valladolid by a 1-0. Real Madrid were beaten 1-0 by Rayo Vallecano. And of course, Leganés drew goalless with Celta Vigo. In Germany, Bayern Munich failed to take advantage of Borussia Dortmund's 4-2 derby loss to Schalke 04, as the Bavarians could only manage a draw away to FC Nuremberg. It ended 1-1 right there. Dortmund had lost earlier on Saturday 4-2, but of course Bayern could only draw, meaning the point difference between those two is just 2 in favor of Bayern right there. And finally, in France, Stade Rennais beat Ligue 1 champions Paris Saint-Germain 6-5 on penalties following a 2-2 draw after extra time on Saturday to claim their 3rd Coupe de France title. Thomas Tuchel's side, French Cup winners for the past 4 years, were 2-0 up after 95 minutes following goals by Dani Alves and Neymar, only for Presnel Kimpembe to score an own goal before Mexa equalized to send the game into extra time. And at the end of the day, PSG were beaten to that one. Chidubem, your final take on the show before we leave.
Well, it was unfortunate for PSG, a team that are used to so much dominance in the French Ligue 1, but this time they just managed a trophy. Neymar's return to the team was not enough to guarantee them a victory in that one, so they will live to fight next year. All
right, they will live to fight another day. We'll also live to fight another day. That's the start of the package put together by Chidubem Njoko. Emeka Dennis, my name. The sports crew will make a return after the news update at 3 p.m. for today's Sports Live. Until then, you have yourselves a wonderful day out there and keep it locked on this dial. Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Murakozi! Thank you.
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
All right, good morning to you all out there. You're still tuned to Today 95.1 FM right here in Port Harcourt. My name is Emeka Dina, and of course, I have a guest in the studio, Madam Toli from Yikong International. Madam Toli, good to have you here this morning.
Yeah, good morning.
All right, Madam Toli, you were here about 2 weeks ago, and of course, now you are here again to promote the company. Why?
All right, before I get into the question, I need to give a brief history about the company. Yikong is a fast-growing company that came into Nigeria with the aim to bring back man to nature and also to train entrepreneurs, hereby creating job opportunities for her citizens. Yikong has amazing health products which we have successfully used to treat so many cases, bad cases that have been termed incurable, chronic or terminal. They are purely herbal, directly from God. It's NAFDAC approved. It has no side effects. This company has efficacious products that we can use to treat people. If you are on our products, of course, you cannot get sick. We have to handle so many cases like stroke, cancers, high BP, diabetes, of course, infertility, and fibroid cases without operation. The question is, why am I here again? We had a similar program 2 weeks ago. I was on this station, and some persons attended our programs, and the testimonies of those people who took our products is what has actually made me to come and create this awareness, and also the testimonies of those who also partnered with us financially. They have equally gotten their testimony. That is why we are here.
All right. How old is the company Yikong International in Nigeria?
The company is just about 3 years old, and they are growing very, very fast. Of course, this is why we have come to create awareness by inviting the public for a 2-day health and wealth summit that will take place this Wednesday and Thursday. A young financial expert with a strong health team will be storming Port Harcourt. It's a privilege to welcome these experts. Of course, they are going to tell us on how to make genuine money, because by partnering with the company, your life, your financial life will never remain the same again. These people are people who just joined the company in less than 6 months, and their financial situation have changed. That is why they are coming in Port Harcourt on Wednesday and Thursday this week to enlighten us more and to give us handover this material and the formula to make this money. And it's happening here live. It's happening live in Port Harcourt at Matilda Plaza behind the Promise Fast Food, Rupako, before Amechi Primary School. You can reach us on 0806 8800771 or 070-355-08964.
Maybe you take it again. You were a bit fast initially.
Okay.
Yeah.
The venue is Matilda Plaza behind the Promise Fast Food, Rupako, before Amechi Primary School. You can reach us at 0806 8800771 or 0703 550 8964.
All right. Of course, earlier you did talk about the fact that your products can treat different kinds of sicknesses and diseases and what have you. I'm asking, how long does it take for someone to be treated with your products?
Of course, it all depends on how long this product has been in the system, the organs that it has already damaged in the system. So if the sickness have already eaten you deep, of course it will take longer time than somebody that just walk in maybe with symptoms. That is why we are encouraging the public, creating this awareness. Come, if you are beginning to feel some signs that you don't like in your system, just come, because of course prevention, they say, is better than cure and cheaper. So just come, and certainly you will not remain the same again. You will get well.
Are the products affordable?
Very, 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 very affordable. Very, 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 very affordable.
All right. So one more time before you go, you have a program on Wednesday
on Wednesday,
Matilda Hotel.
Matilda Plaza,
okay,
behind the Promise fast food, before Amechi Primary School.
What time?
Rukbako. The time, of course, is 10 a.m.
All right. And of course, we also have some numbers that people interested can call or maybe send a message to be part of the program, right?
Yes, yes. These numbers are 06 88 00771 or 0703 5508964. Now we also have a package. We have free gifts for people who will come with their friends. If you come with your friends, we are also going to give you a special gift by saying thank you for making people to come and attend our program. Of course, we are all expecting you to be there. Those people who were here, who were there 2 weeks ago, of course, they have amazing testimonies, and you will all see them live. You will see our patient live. You will see those whose life have been transformed live, teaching you how to make money at the same time. Of course, our health experts will diagnose you to know exactly what your problem is and give you the treatment accordingly.
All right. Thank you so much, Madam Tolly from Yikong International. Thank you for joining us on the show this morning. And of course, Mekadena still remains my name. The show is still today's. The show continues, after now. So keep listening to Today 95.1 FM right here in Port Harcourt.
Thank you.
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Baby, you hold me for work. Make I enter your life, I go love you better, oh. Baby, cool your temper, oh. If not money, your body, you want to surrender, oh. Zambo, Zambo. Tell her what your love is. Zambo, Zambo. Zambo, Zambo. If I call you early in the morning, make you Zambo, Zambo. Zambo, Zambo. So again I come a happy beat. When it's fresh I can follow out on a concrete. Hey, they say you bitter but you can't sweet. It will less no more sheets. And I'm a football teacher so pulling the do. All the work so man on a boon. Even if again I'm a Simone woki wo cool. Inside my girl and barely go be move again the boy more life. We did go the wrong got him alright. Go see me super color he a pure white. Before my turn on y'all to a housewife. As long as you got me, baby, wanna shaking. Any man who got to the choir, you already taking. Can one foundation when you want your Uber decking. What for logging up on my pinot in the making. Working for you for your love, I go sign on the taking. Baby, you hold me for work, oh. Make I enter your life, I go love you better, oh. Love you better, oh. Baby, cool your temper, oh. Cool your temper, oh. If not money, your body, you want to surrender, oh. Zambo, Zambo. Tell her what your love is. Zambo, Zambo. Iskaba. Zambo.
answer. Baby, I dey beg you, make you answer. Answer, answer. Baby, I dey beg you, make you answer. Since I don't dey call, you know the answer. It's not by you don't need a bouncer. Michael Jackson, I go be your dancer. Plenty girls corner you with the bonanza. Sure you know the see, say we wear white. Sure you know the see, say WC. Kuna fino think we're alright. East cover. Give me money and anything you want, you don't go pass by. We know that it, baby, sure you know the see, say we wear white. All the naka, all the kinaka. Naya, African Naya. All the naka, all the naka. If Naya, African Naya. Sugar baby. One bar you go carry baby. 2 bar you go carry me. Make I come to you like a lady.
Baby, you hold me for work, oh. Make I enter your life, I go love you better, oh.
Love, I love,
oh. Baby, cool your temper, oh.
You gotta love you forever.
If not money, your body, you want to surrender, oh. Sambo, Sambo.
Sambo, Sambo.
Sambo, Sambo.
Hey, Sambo.
Sambo, Sambo.
Sambo,
Sambo. Sambo, Sambo, Sambo. Okay, Jesugaro, okay, Jesugaro. I'm gonna go back when I'm going to come okay, okay, we go to in a fear.
All the naka, all the kinaka. If you naya, African naya. All the naka, all the naka. Make you Sambo, Sambo,
Sambo, Sambo. Sambo, Sambo.
All the naka,
Sambo, Sambo.
African naya.
Sambo, Sambo.
Spice Beats.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Everybody move your body now. Forget about the today. Everybody move your body now. Tomorrow is a good day. Good day.
Everybody move your body now. Forget about the blue day. Everybody move your body now. Tomorrow is a good day. Imagine that. Àfìgbà tó ṣe dandan pé kò ṣe mọ́. Imagine that. Pẹ̀lú gbogbo ìfẹ́ tí mo ti fi fún. Imagine that. Kí ló fẹ́ kó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí mi tó bá lọ. Imagine that. Tó bá lọ. Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine that. Àfìgbà tó ṣe dandan pé kò ṣe mọ́. Imagine that. Pẹ̀lú gbogbo ìfẹ́ tí mo ti fi fún. Imagine that. Kí ló fẹ́ kó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí mi tó bá lọ. Imagine that. Tó bá lọ. Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine. Every time I try to settle down and have a wife, every time I fail to make them smile, every time I try not to make them cry, they turn and say goodbye. The very first girl really had the worst words for me. She told me I was such a loser, and that's why she was gonna break up with me. Everybody, can you imagine that? Àfìgbà tó ṣe dandan pé kò ṣe mọ́. Imagine that. Gbogbo ìfẹ́ tí mo ti fi fún. Imagine that. Kí ló fẹ́ kó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí mi tó bá lọ. Imagine that. Tó bá lọ. Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine that. Àfìgbà tó ṣe dandan pé kò ṣe mọ́. Imagine that. Pẹ̀lú gbogbo ìfẹ́ tí mo ti fi fún. Imagine that. Kí ló fẹ́ kó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí mi tó bá lọ. Imagine that. Tó bá lọ. Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine. Tell me why my sun was always darker into rain. Tell me why my heart must feel such pain. And why it's so hard for me to explain the way my soul feels drained. The very last girl said she knew I'd be ashamed of her. She said that I should please forgive her, but that she was having another man's baby girl. Everybody, can you imagine that?
Radio is good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
95.1 FM, voice of the people.
And we're back.
Wake up to today's quest.
Wake up.
All the news and information you need in one go. Get started with the best of sports, lifestyle, analysis, and Annie.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
Can you feel it? Wake up to today's quest with Annie on Today 95.1 FM from 6 to 11 a.m. weekdays. Fantastic.
You're listening to Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. Welcome to a fantastic new week. And great to have you all here after resting from the weekend. I understand that Wednesday is also going to be a public holiday. But in any which case, we'll get what needs to be sorted out before May Day. Welcome to the show. Today's quest kicks off with the newspaper review. And of course, I'll eventually introduce the guests I have in the studio with me who will be on the show alongside Emmanuel Undukwe. Emmanuel, good morning.
Good morning, Annie. Good morning, Nigeria.
We'll start with the Punch newspaper. And in the Punch, we have Immortalize My Father. Saraki's sister begs Kwara Guba elect. Immortalize My Father. Saraki's sister begs Kwara Guba elect. PDP claims 14 trillion naira stolen under Buhari. PDP claims 14 trillion naira stolen under Buhari. Fighting graph with Auditor General's report. Fighting graph with Auditor General's report. ASU rejects inclusion of lecturers in IPS wage system. ASU rejects inclusion of lecturers in IPS wage system. We also have here APC dismisses Kogi governor's alleged move to dump party. APC dismisses Kogi governor's alleged move to dump party. 30,000 naira minimum wage. NLC chapters set to write governors on implementation. 30,000 minimum naira wage. NLC chapters set to write governors on implementation. And 3 feared killed as gunmen invade Rivers community. 3 feared killed as gunmen invade Rivers community. That's about it from the Punch that we can take. Let's quickly run through some of the stories. In the Punch, we started with fighting graph with Auditor General's Auditor General's reports rather. Fighting graft with Auditor General's reports. This is the National Assembly lawmakers-elect have been told not to emulate their unpatriotic predecessors who failed woefully to consider the Auditor General's report submitted to them since 1999, which contained serial abuse of public funds. Acting on the reports is a heavy responsibility imposed on legislators by the 1999 Constitution to promote accountability in the use of public funds. With mind-boggling corruption in the country, such dereliction of duty is a betrayal of trust and the height of legislative irresponsibility. The Attorney General of the Federation, Anthony Aine, made a demand during a recent orientation program for the 469 legislators-elect for the Senate and House of Representatives. Aine's focus was on the role of the National Assembly in promoting accountability. The deeply concerned AGF simply continued from where his immediate past predecessor, Samuel Ukora, stopped. The importance of the AGF office is expressed in Section 85, subsection 4 of the Constitution, evident in its power to conduct periodic checks of all government statutory corporations, commissions, authorities, agencies. Annually, its report is submitted to the Parliament for action. Curiously, the reports spanning 16 years have been neglected by the legislators, despite being among the best paid globally. Corruption has stifled economic growth and development in our country, says Ayine, who stressed that the implementation of the report's recommendations will bode well for transparency and accountability in the system. So, Emmanuel, here's the pain. For 16 years, they say they keep providing these reports to the assemblies and that nothing is done. Their statutory duty is to conduct periodic checks of all government corporations, commissions, authorities, and agencies. And they give their audit reports to the National Assembly, and they say for 16 years they do nothing.
I think that amounts to corruption itself by not giving attention to the report of the Auditor General, because it is a veritable instrument to fight corruption, wherein intermittently they'll conduct exactly what is going on with the finances of all the corporations and all that. So I think it's what deserves due effort and due diligence to look at how are these funds being used. Are they using it in the way it should be, and what happened? But keeping it in the cooler, I don't understand whatever they have as their motive. So I think the caption is very apt, that fighting corruption with Auditor Generals, is it what? I think that is a veritable instrument. But where the National Assembly leaves it, it tells us exactly how far we are fighting corruption.
He says any audit report can be fully considered when a parliament takes a resolution on it and transmits same to the executive for necessary action. But this ritual is preceded by painstaking scrutiny of the audit report and summonses of indicted public officials by the Public Accounts Committee of the two chambers of the legislature, whose final reports are considered and adopted in plenary. So critical is the committee that it is only parliamentary committee created by the Constitution in the quest for probity and good governance. So we also have with us Fine Face Demnamene. Fine Face is a public affairs analyst. Fine Face, let's get your thoughts here.
Yeah, Annie, thank you for having me, and good morning to Rivers people within the reach of our voices. I think when we talk about audit reports, we are talking about a report that has audited the financial activities of government and its agencies over the past 1 year. And the essence of audits is to see how money was spent, where there was loopholes, whether the money was used for what it was meant to be used for or not. And then where things were not done the way it was planned to be done, then certain actions can be taken to correct, those anomalies going forward. So if a report of that magnitude is done and nothing is done about it by way of looking into the report to see the gray areas with a view of putting them back on track going forward, then we are not fighting corruption the way we should fight it. Because when we talk about corruption, it's not something that is on the streets. These corrupt practices are in each and every one of these ministries, parastatals, and agencies of government at all levels, in such a way that when such a report comes out, everybody must look into that report. There will be executive summary of the report, what are the gray areas, and then we see how we can use that report to make some corrections to improve on what we did in the previous year.
All right. It says ironic. Besides, the Accountant General, whose operations also form basis of the auditor's report, draws billions of naira annually for the discharge of statutory duties with allocations to the two Public Accounts Committee in the Parliament. The Auditor General's office salaries, emoluments of personnel, pensions, and gratuities for workers in these offices have all become funds gone down the drain. One of the strange elements in the 2016 audit report in the AGF's observation was that 65 government agencies have never submitted their accounts for audit. It's quite shocking. We also have Obidima, JP journalist and public affairs analyst. Obidima, good to have you.
And good morning.
What are your thoughts here so far?
Well, I know that there was this audit when Obasanjo was at the helm of affairs, and the report was churned out. Why that report had not been given attention for so many years is really baffling. The point there is that maybe, that audit was mainly on the military administration that preceded the civilian administration from 1999. Maybe there is this saying of not touching the untouchables in the society, which is bad. Because I know that a lot of things that came out from Oputa panel even form part of that report. What happened during Abacha's time and previous administration, military government before then, concerning ministries, departments, and agencies, how money were used and mismanaged. If the point there is that when they see such report, they see the personalities that are indicted one way or the other, and they don't want to touch it. They are not doing well. They are not doing good to Nigerians at all. And the best thing person, I would say that this administration, if the Night Assembly that is coming will heed to this call and do something about it. But I believe that they will also sit on it when they see those that are involved in those humongous corruption cases.
All right then. Okay. Daniel Momo, good morning. Good to have you here too.
Good morning, Annie.
All right, let's get your thoughts.
Yes, the last one you just read out now that some agencies of government never, that word never.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get to even ask yourself, who exactly is in charge?
Never submitted the accounts for audit.
Never. The word never. They never submitted. In other words, people just go there, do what they feel that they can do what they call their best. Whether their best was good enough, nobody get to know. And so, they are gone. And so, like Mr. Obidima said, you see, sometimes again, I think there is this comradeship, regardless of political party, that these elites cover. Forget whatever political parties they belong. That comradeship, once they see ABCD name, that report is, let's just let that report lie low there. But again, while you were reading the first one, I also think that, was it that states auditing too should also go to the National Assembly?
No.
Okay.
All right then. Okay. Emi Fiahaga.
Good morning, Nigerians. I greet everybody in the house. I think this is one of the reasons we begin to see where we are today, and we have continued to remain here, but by God's grace, we'll move forward. How will agencies of government not submit their whatever financial account for scrutiny and all that, and they continue in that manner, and they still want to continue? I think when the framer of the Nigeria Constitution said the National Assembly shall make law for good governance of the country, I think they have reasoning why they did that. Because the National Assembly act as a conscience of the nation, where things are looked at properly, if this thing is rightly done or not. But it's unfortunate that we have a National Assembly that don't actually consider these things as important. You are the conscience of the nation, for crying out loud, and you are failing to do what you are supposed to do. You are failing to scrutinize what you are supposed to scrutinize. You are just there and the report is submitted to you and you do nothing about it, and this 8th Assembly is also doing the same thing. I really think that it's time for Nigerians to ask, do we really need this National Assembly, or we should overhaul it and trying to find a model how we can actually get this done? I've always advocated that this zero budgeting system should be adopted in all facets of government, whether the agency and all that, so that people will begin to give account of whatever money that is allocated to them before new money is allocated to them. I think by that we'll have a better
I usually would wonder then, when the National Assembly goes on what they call oversight functions, in discharging that duty, don't they have an understanding that this is what was sent to this department or this agency, this is what they're doing, so we're going to keep an eye on the spending? So this is what I usually thought will entail part of the oversight functions.
It is, of course. That's what part of it.
So how would they be able to do that without an audit?
Yes, that's what I'm doubting now is the word that Daniel mentioned, never submit. I don't know what it means, because I believe that before even they do anything about budgeting and all that, they should have checked the previous ones to find out and I believe also that every department must have submitted at least the past one. But now we are hearing...
Maybe they're not submitting to the Auditor General's department or his office. Maybe
so, but how did they then keep up budget?
I don't know.
That is why you see that in some ministries...
Maybe they send it to the Ministry of Budget and Finance or something. Because I don't get it.
No, seriously, in some ministries where you see all this public hearing, they carry over maybe in 2015, they wrote something as maybe expatriate something. They still carry the same amount
I just think we don't have a habit here generally of, keeping proper audits. Because even with internal auditing, you're also supposed to have external auditing so that everything is kept in check. I doubt if we have that habit, and that, honestly, by what this piece of news is saying is a reason why huge sums of money have continued going down that drain over the decades. We'll leave that story there and move on. Fighting graph with Auditor General's report. That story is in the Punch newspaper. Meanwhile, the PDP claims that 14 trillion naira was stolen under Buhari. That story is in the Punch. PDP claims 14 trillion naira stolen under Buhari. The People's Democratic Party on Sunday alleged that 14 trillion naira has been stolen under the All Progressives Congress-led presidency. It said the party, President Muhammadu Buhari, were desperate to remain in power in order to prevent investigations into the matter. The PDP National Publicity Secretary, Mr. Kola Ologbondiyan, made the allegations in a statement made available to journalists in Abuja. Ologbondiyan alleged that the stolen money included the 9 trillion naira allegedly stolen from the Ministry of Petroleum Resources as detailed in the leaked Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation's memo, that over 1.4 trillion alleged oil subsidy sleaze and 1.1 trillion naira worth of crude allegedly diverted using 18 unregistered companies. He listed others to include 33 billion naira in National Emergency Management Agency fund and the over 18 billion naira allegedly stolen out of 48 billion naira approved by the National Assembly in the 2017 budget for the rehabilitation of internally displaced persons in the Northeast, among others. The party spokesman also claimed that the present administration's unwholesome borrowing led to the escalation of the nation's debt stock from 12.12 trillion in 2015 to 24.39 in 2018. He said within 3 years, Buhari's administration had borrowed 12.27 trillion and yet could not point to one significant project which the money was invested in. So aside looking at the borrowing part, I think we've mentioned that on subsequent stories where we have, on previous stories where we've discussed that before. But let's just look at the allegations made here now, where he says they have been able to swindle Nigerians of 14 trillion naira. Emmanuel?
From the PDP.
Yes, the PDP.
Well, I think it's a political banter that the APC also could calculate its own for the 16 years the PDP was in power, and then give a figure that if you hear, your mind may skip, your heart may skip a bit. And now the APC is now telling, and the PDP is telling you, what we just finished is on Auditor General's report. So the PDP, I believe, has its auditor, and they would have been able painstakingly to scrutinize what they feel the APC has swindled Nigeria or has stolen. Well, who is Emmanuel Ndukwe to say they are wrong or right? But the truth is that they must remember that themselves were there for 16 years and left. And so nothing lasts forever until when God wants it. When the APC leaves, if they are the ones there, or even if they are not there, the political party may probe APC. If, according to the allegation, that they are desperately looking for a way to cling to power so as not to be probed, there must be a day for probing them.
All right. What do you think, Fine First Amendment?
No, when I heard that figure, my
14
mind
trillion.
skipped a little, because 14 trillion Nigerian naira, every Nigerian will get at least 100 million and we still have change left. And I wonder what the budget had been for the past 4 years, that we could have that kind of amount missing. And then those areas that they have pointed at as possible areas where these funds were looted from and what have you. I know that some of those areas are not new to government. Some of those areas are well known to them. But whatever it is, based on the fact that this allegation has been raised now, irrespective of the person or the party that has raised this allegation and threw this dust, I think some form of investigation should be launched into that to look at the veracity of these claims by the PDP, so that anybody who is capable or culpable in this matter can be brought to book. We must not hear 14 trillion and sweep it under the carpet because it is coming from the PDP.
All right, okay, we got your thoughts on that too. Obitima.
Well, the point there is that we are dealing with an administration that it appears today deceived Nigerians that they were angels and nothing like corruption. In fact, the issue of corruption will never be had in this country again. But unfortunately, hitherto, that all the report we are getting, both from TI, Transparency International, and the U.S. State Department, that there's huge corruption going on in this administration. And the report we read, was it March last year? Yes, March last year, how that our fuel consumption was 30 million liters per day. And within a month, between March and April, there was a report that the thing has increased to 60 million liters per day. And that thing became an issue. The chairman of Governors Forum raised the matter, but somehow the thing did not take a face of that. So these are the ways all these things are being done. What is our fuel consumption per day up to now? We don't know, because we have a figure up to March last year. How within a month that figure doubled? So I know too well, and I believe I have also been saying it, that the president don't know what is going on. Right, even where he said in the ministry, he said the Minister of Petroleum.
Okay, we got your thoughts there. And to Daniel Momo now.
Yes, first of all, he who alleges must prove. The onus is on the PDP to prove that actually 14 trillion was missing. First, you're all put together, both the federal government, the state government, and the local government. How much did they share in the last 6 years? Was it up to 14 trillion naira? And so he who alleges must prove. We've gone past the schoolboy era of activism, of just throwing out figures. As a political party, you must prove the details of what you have thrown out. Release the figures.
Okay, all right. Emifia Haga.
I think it's very unfortunate that the PDP as a party has not been able to provide good opposition. I wish it could. I would have been very happy. They would have kept APC on that, but rather you just make bogus statement and all that. When you say a political party or an administration have stolen or whatever, have diverted 40 trillion naira, and how much, like Daniel Momo said, how much was shared for that our number of years and all that, that you say 40 trillion has been stolen. We're here in this country that a report said Jonathan alone earned 51 trillion naira from oil earnings. Obasanjo got 27 trillion. And Yar'Adua 9 trillion. Totally to 87 trillion naira of Nigerian money. We didn't see anything, but rather state went into insolvent until Buhari came and gave out money for bailout fund for the same period that we earned 87 trillion naira of Nigerian money. They are here making bogus accusations and all that without proof and all that. Right. If we were to be APC, then we tag this money, okay, through this channel, through this, and through this. Then we name them. They should try to provide good opposition and let's have a better country.
We got your thoughts, Emi. ASU rejects inclusion of lecturers in IPS's wage system. It says here the Academic Staff Union of Universities has rejected a move by the federal government to incorporate varsity lecturers' wage into the integrated personnel payroll system. The ASU president, Professor Biodo Oguyemi, in a letter written to the chapter chairman of the union, a copy of which was made available to newsmen in Ibadan by the chairman, University of Ibadan chapter, Professor Deji Omole, directed members not to fill the said 2019 personnel verification form. Our correspondent gathered that the 2019 personnel data verification form was being distributed by the Budget Office of the Federation. Oguyemi described the development as dubious. According to Oguyemi, while the union is not against any verification, the form for the exercise being distributed requires the supply of the IPS number, implying a dubious trap to forcefully migrate the union members into IPS. He stated the attention of the leadership of ASU has been drawn to a circular from the Budget Office of the Federation directing members of our union to participate in a personnel verification exercise designed for selected ministries, departments, and agencies. An item on the form requires the supply of IPS number. This suggests that the so-called exercise is a disguised way of bringing back the integrated payroll and personnel information system, which our union rejected in the past with informed arguments. All chairpersons are advised against falling into the trap of forcefully migration to the IPS. Emmanuel.
Well, I think simply what I would say is that this is what the kind of thing that happens in a society where suspicion reigns supreme. Because I tell you, if government in its approaches to issues with ASU have been very consistent in the delivering exactly as promised, ASU will have one mind to follow whatever government brings out. And they can be too sure that ASU will just follow his membership, whatever position they come up. And then government will start, well, let's see exactly how it will pan out. But suspicion seems to be at the core of this particular action of ASU.
All right, what do you think here?
Well, I think that I have to commend the ASU president for being able to point that out, because to a very large extent, from what he said, this is a system they have rejected in the past, and now through the back door, like he has also noted, they are trying to bring that in. I think what needs to be done is for him to look at that very critically and be able to see that if it is not going to favor its members in such a way that it will improve teaching and learning in Nigeria University, I think they have to give them a special preferential treatment, and of course leave them where they are if that is what they want, so that we don't have a new industrial actions in universities as a result of this integrated payroll system.
All right then. But I'm wondering, what is wrong with being under the integrated payroll system? Is there something faulty about it?
Annie, I tell you, it's to praise
I don't get it. Okay.
You see, this country, I don't know, sometimes like we take one step forward and 10 steps backward. And that is why our educational system remain comatose up to now. I don't see why universities cannot manage their affairs the way it is done in so many countries of the world. I don't see why management of universities, after all, most of the things we use today, even in the civil service, are research done through the universities. They are doing some certain things even through the IT system in the universities today, independent of any supervising ministry or agency. So, to bring them into an integrated system, maybe also integrated pension and all those kind of a thing, is a clog in the wheel of progress of our educational development in this country. And it will set a lot of things back. We see what happened to civil servants. Even when
civil servants get paid, at least in this dispensation, they have been getting paid.
Which dispensation that they
I said at least. That's why I said at least in this dispensation, they've been getting paid as at when due.
It's no time they don't get their pay as
so why were you mentioning look at civil servants? If you're agreeing that they get paid at
because,
time, why do you say look at the civil service?
Because I have people who are in the, I have friends who are in the Nigerian Civil Defense System.
And
they say their salary is delayed. They get their salary a few days after the month, in the new month.
A few days after?
Yeah, they don't used to have it like that
So
before.
It's not as if they are owed. They get a few days after.
The thing is that
they're not being owed. So a few days, you get it 4 or 5 days into the new month, you got your salary for the month.
All this centralized system of
going
governance.
Forward. How then do you say look at the civil service? Because that is your word.
No. What I'm trying to say is that there are things there are some threads they pass through, even during their pension payment and all those things. Sometimes they will just come to Abuja for one verification or the other.
Okay.
And the lecturer may now want to leave his lecture and go to Abuja.
Okay, we got your thoughts, Obidima. Thank you very much. All right, Daniel Momo.
Yes, let me start from where Mr. Emma ended it. You see, suspicion is driven most of these things. But again, is it the 2011 agreement now? ASU federal government agreement. Is it
2009?
Okay, 2009. Okay, 2009 agreement. Part of which was agreed by both parties of the autonomy of the universities, including how they all generated or get their end allowances. And so if you come, like they say, they are through the back door, why not make it public and let ASU debate it within its own rank to agree or not to agree? If they had said before that please we do not want some of these things.
Where I'm getting confused, maybe because I don't understand this properly, is whatever the generated allowances and payments of ASU is, it's common knowledge. It's not backdoor stuff, is it?
It's common knowledge.
It's common knowledge. It's not backdoor. So we have agreed that your generated allowances and what's due you at the end of the month, assuming is 10 naira, right? Yes. So why can't we inculcate that into a general system that says you get 10 naira every month?
No, but
why do we have to generate something separate for you specially where you take your 10 naira from?
No, University of Lagos, what they generate is different from what University of Port Harcourt.
That's what I'm saying.
Each one. Yes, that's what I'm saying. You see, again, I wouldn't know what traps they feel some of these things will be. But the 2009 agreement clearly gave some powers to the universities and its lecturers there. So if you are now coming to say that, because sometimes federal government can be very funny.
Yeah, I agree. But you know that for federal government, what they're trying to do is that everybody that is being paid from the consolidated accounts comes under IPS. That is what they set out to do. And they're thinking that slowly they can get all the MDAs and other agencies all under it. So far, I think about only 49 or 59 or 69. I know it's something 9 at the end are under it. So they're looking for ways to get more and more people under that, so that every fund coming out from the consolidated accounts used for payments is captured under IPS. Now, if for any reason, like you said, it was an agreement between them and ASU at that time that you won't be there. But I'm also wondering, why does ASU want to stay away from I don't know why they want to shy away from it too. Suspicion.
The bloated
bureaucracy too.
Can't we do something to a kind of reduce them?
I agree with you.
All
right, then. Let's hear your thoughts.
To me, I will want to ask ASU, what do they really want?
Their money.
We are talking about accountability. We are only looking at the executive, and now the thing is coming down. Everybody needs to be accountable. The Nigerian law, Nigerian Constitution says all money generated within Nigeria goes into the consolidated account. If the money goes there, now they are trying to devise a means where everybody will be checkmated. There will be a system that pays, and you are trying to say no. You are resisting. What do they really want? Okay, when it comes to the issue of accountability or a system that functions, it should go to them. Them and not we. But when it comes to the we say no, we don't want it. Why are you trying to avoid that?
Does NNPC
NNPC
has money that generates and uses.
Central Bank?
They have money that they uses on their own.
See, you are looking at NNPC, right?
Yes.
That the money they generate, right?
Why are they not under it?
According to what you just said, now they are looking for more of these agents and all that. They want to join.
But they haven't
them.
gone into hold on. But they haven't gone into any agreement.
And they are bringing them.
Hold on, they haven't gone into any agreement with NNPC not to be under it. They have gone into an agreement with ASU before. Yes. So CBN and NNPC that they haven't gone into any agreement with before. Why are they not trying to?
That is, they are bringing everybody. They will still get them in.
All right.
Let us get everybody in.
All right.
That is what they are doing.
Okay, well, that's with those that you didn't have agreement with.
What's not them?
That's with the ones you didn't have agreement with. Okay. All right, let's leave that story though and move on to another here. 30,000 minimum wage, NLC to challenge state governors to paying, I think it's something along that line. Let me see. Yes, 30,000 naira minimum wage, NLC chapters to write to governors on implementation. 30,000 naira minimum wage, NLC chapters to set to write governors on implementation. Says there are strong indications that the state chapters of the Nigerian Labour Congress will from May 1st begin talks with their state governments on the implementation of 30,000 naira minimum wage, recently approved by President Muhammadu Buhari. Investigations by The Punch on Sunday showed that while some state chapters of the NLC will begin meeting with state governors on May 1st, others insisted that they will wait for a circular from the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission before they will start negotiation. The unionists said they will not tolerate any reduction in the 30,000 naira minimum wage by any state government. For instance, the Ekiti State Chairman of the NLC, Olatunde Kolakpo, in an interview with The Punch on Saturday, said Labour would meet with the governor on May 1st. Kolakpo, who also was inaugurated as NLC Thursday, said, "We just came on board. The meeting with the state government will take place next week, Wednesday on Workers' Day. This is still an avenue. All we need to know is when to expect it." All right, Emmanuel.
I think, yes, nobody will expect a reduction. And so NLC is on point. They certainly won't desire such. In fact, if there is any desire they must have, it will be that add something to that 30,000 approved. But governors, the ability to pay is the issue here. Some of them are complaining even ahead of time, ahead of approval. But I have said severally, there is no state in this country that wants to pay 30,000 that cannot pay 30,000. It's just because of lack of creativity. Yes, the exclusive list and all the rest of them restricted governors and all that, but there are areas that governors are not restricted to develop for their states and then make more money. Let them look into that and let NLC make sure they write to them as they have said, so that 30,000, at least not 31, 30,000 should be paid.
All right. Fine, face of a minute.
Yeah, I think it is funny to hear that any governor will ever say they cannot pay the 30,000 naira minimum wage that we are talking about here. Because if you ask me, I think 30,000 naira per month is just approximately $86 at 350. And that is what you are paying per month. And in other climes, I believe that people earn money per hour. And be that as it may, the same people complaining or may be preparing to complain or had already complained before even the bill was signed into law that they cannot pay this money, they are living flamboyant lifestyle. Most of their children are not in this country. Neither are they going to the same hospitals with us. The only thing and the only place we all meet is in the market, the same place we buy, with their own purchasing power being higher than our own. So I think they need not complain, but look inwards and block some of the leakages and areas of extravagant lifestyle and be able to pay these workers this amount of money. This is just 48 hours to May 1st, May Day. That is the day I want to hear all the governors in Nigeria making pronouncement. And I'm going to clap for the first governor to pay that 30,000 naira minimum wage to its workers.
Very good. Obidima.
I believe that every state in Nigeria can pay this patron 30,000 naira per month. One, you have to reduce your security votes. You have to reduce the number of political appointees. You have to reduce allowances given to political appointees. You have to ensure that your allocation and internal generated revenue are properly applied. After all, how many are these workers in the state? How many of them? Compare with other members of the society who are not engaged in one employment or the other. So I don't see, there's no way. Yes, even beyond that, the federal government, because of a structural problem in this country, let the federal government take someone the political will to offload a lot of things that are in that exclusive list, in fact that shrine called exclusive list, and they take it to the states with the resources attached to them. And I said it here the other time that Zamfara State, if not for what is happening now and the report we have from international bodies that deal on gold, how much have been realized by illegal miners mining gold in Zamfara. Who did I know that they have some resources? And the Zamfara can even pay 60,000 naira minimum wage with what we had. And every state in this country, they have one resources or the other. It's not because if you don't go and grow cassava only, it is what you generate that you can use and go and grow cassava. It's not what you allocated. It's not what you allocated.
Okay, thank you. Daniel Momo.
Yes, first, before the election, I thought governors were saying
they'll pay, yeah. Once federal government
once they approved, that was before the election. No, but in reality, I think we are all jokers. Starting even from the NLC, that they would write government. How can you write government on a law that has been passed if we are not all joking? You see, Annie, you see, sometimes we want to analyze these issues with sentiment and try to be friend whether to labor or not to labor. The fact is that any governor who cannot pay the salary should go to court and challenge the fact that even State House of Assembly here cannot be part of those who debate on whether the worker should go home with 30,000 naira minimum wage or not. You see, it's just a general statement to say where every state can pay. How many civil servants do we have compared to the numbers of persons in that state that the government is supposed to provide water, supposed to provide light, is supposed to provide infrastructure? Must it be to only the civil servants? How much, what is the population of River State, for example? And how much about 5-point-something billion is going to paying civil servants salary in Rivers State. Do we all live here for civil servants alone? We all pay taxes here. Why should it be that all the money, how much do Rivers State get from the federation account? That about 5-point-something billion should go to paying salaries? No, we should not challenge this issue. If we are not up to paying 30,000 naira, let us tell ourselves we are not up to paying 30,000 naira. How can we just generalize and just assume that every state will pay 30,000 naira? Governors who think that their wage bill cannot carry this should go to court and challenge it. We have court.
All right.
And table everything. No, but everybody is just saying creativity. Diversification alone can take you more than 15 to 20 years. Serious diversification. Diversification also means that you take money from somewhere to put in other places. So where do you get that money from? The point is that we were too emotional about this issue, and then we went ahead and just passed the bill and okay, now let the state pay.
All right, got your thoughts. To you now, Mr. Haga.
Yes, I think like Daniel said, we are joking. NSA writing, which of the NLC? Is it the one that are friends and allies of governors that are writing to governors? It's something that we just tap, they say, hey, and they laugh and we leave. So they are not writing anything there because they are too friendly to the state governors. In fact, they are tools to some state governors, so they are writing nothing. However, I think if we're actually looking at the 30,000, to me, it's not a big deal. The state government can pay. They should stop this duplication of functions and all that we see in the civil service. One person is a messenger, the other person is a caller who goes to collect something and come. What's the difference between the messenger and that person? So they should stop all these things. Reduce these things. You will have money. This traveling number of aids that you have and all that, reduce them. There is money. Go into something. Plateau State Governor say it is time for me now to look inward, and I'm going to renovate the Plateau just main market, and from there I think I will be able to generate money, and from there I will pay my salaries and all because I want to pay the 30,000. I believe state governors can do that. People are talking about exclusive list and all that. The Bible says he that is not faithful in little can never be faithful in much.
All right, 30,000 naira minimum wage. NLC chapters to write state governors on implementation. That's in the Punch newspaper. We have a story here in the Punch. It says 3 feared killed as gunmen invade Rivers community. 3 feared killed as gunmen invade Rivers community. And I mean, in the past, we've been hearing about a lot going on with these cults, clashes and kidnappers and back and forth. Emmanuel, it seems as if that stories now are beginning to take national stage.
Of course. That is, I think it's degenerating, but it looks like it's across the nation. It's not only in Rivers State. I must also be frank about it. But the fact remains that one person, you see, Nigeria has grown to the kind of thick skin Nigerians have now because of this insecurity problem.
And all states will have their own peculiarities.
Yeah, I know.
Ours will be on cult-related issues.
Yeah, it's been on cults, focus on cultism and all that. But what I'm only saying, whichever one, thick skin have suddenly been developed by Nigerians, so that you hear that 50 persons died. It makes an impression. You see, 100 Boko Haram killed 100. Yes, but as soon as you hear like this one mentioned 3 persons, only 3. But we are talking about humans here. So the thing is becoming something that it looks as it's a recurring decimal, so we can live with it. We don't have much problem about it. But one person in a nation that knows what is doing, well-governed nations, it will be as if government will shut down until they find out the reasons why people are dying. Why are our own different? Unfortunately, I think government should do something, whichever state.
Ima, if you ask me, I think what is happening in Nigeria as a whole is a total violation of the country's grand norm, which is in the Constitution. The Constitution guarantees the life of Nigerians by way of, people being able to live their life and go about their normal businesses. Then, coming to Rivers State, we have had a lot of cases of this in recent past in Rivers State. In the Ogoni area alone, just in parts of this first quarter 2019, we've lost 63 persons to all these court-related crises. And now, sometime like this particular incident we read about that happened in Eneka, where people were just freely sitting down and watching their football and relaxing. Before you know, gunshots everywhere, and people are killed, a lot of them injured. Just Saturday, we heard about the kidnapping of some people within the East-West Road. Sunday, again, we heard another one. So this is becoming too much. And I think the president, the governors, the council chairmen, the security operatives, they have to sit up and ensure the enforcement of the section of the Constitution that guarantees the life and properties of citizens of Nigeria.
All right, then. Thank you so much. And 5 minutes in a minute. Obidima?
Yes, I think, honestly speaking, the president of the country is not ready to fight insecurity. I said it before, that we have gotten to a stage where we should summon the governors for emergency security summit. And the idea, leave what is in the constitution. Come with something that is novel, how to tackle insecurity all over the places. All these killings, look at, do you know from here to Mbiama, you have over 13 checkpoints. From here to Owerri, you have over 25 checkpoints. In fact, you can even from one checkpoint see the next checkpoint. But yet, kidnappings are going on. Buses are being diverted to the bush. What is happening? You know, it is curious. We don't know what to do again. And the two, let me use this platform, this opportunity to call on the governor of the state. Let him come up with his neighborhood watch now. Election is over. Maybe that time they think we were raising militias for election. Now the election is over. Come on, because Section 11 of the Constitution empowers the state assembly to make such law for the security of the state. Nothing, Burutai cannot stop him from doing that security this day and deploy them to the communities. Even if they will provide intelligence to the main security this day. Better.
I don't think that, I don't think that was the issue. I think the issue was on arming them. That was what they were drawing the line on.
You see, the point there is that whatever means they will use to contain this menace should be deployed. And the two, the village chiefs, traditional rulers, should also be brought on board.
All right, then. We got your thoughts there, Obidima. Thank you. Daniel Momo.
Yes, each time you hear any news now about River State, daily, it's about death. And then what ends some of these things is court-related. I told you the day I went to sleep, I slept in Eleme. Annie, I regretted.
Why? What happened?
Gunshot from middle of the night. And I was just wondering, where is this thing coming from? All kinds of shout, people running around, gunshot everywhere. I couldn't wait till daybreak, Annie. Saying that the president had to summon the governors of states, for me, that is going too far. What are the major discussions for the security of River State? They have security meetings. You see, these are some of the implications when a governor always go around to say whether the police want to assassinate him, whether the soldiers want to kill him. Then how do you sit with these people on a round table to find a solution, a local solution? We are calling Buhari. For court-related issue here in River State, you are calling Buhari.
Yes, that's...
Sorry, please, now, I'm coming.
Let him finish.
Before the governor came on board, the state was worse in security than this. It was curtailed. Today, at a point, even Joba here now, you now see bike running here. Part of the security that was discussed before was that bike should not be allowed. Was traced to using of bike. Go to everywhere now, they use bike around. Keke around everywhere. It's supposed to be a local place where they use bike. But go to all around the major highways in River State now. Bike runs around everywhere. So what has happened?
All right.
How about the security things that were put in place? They were dismantled. So call your police in these states and call every security chief for a meeting. Yeah, your monthly meeting. What is it that you discuss with them? So I tell you, these are the implications of always telling you that the police want to kill me, the soldier want to do this. These are the implications. How did you sit on the round table to discuss the security situation of River State?
Okay, we got your thoughts, Daniel. And then to you, Emi Felhaga, where we'll wrap up on the newspaper
Yes, I
review.
think first, if Section 11 allows State Assembly to make law on issue of security, please, according to the same Constitution, issue of arms and armory and all that are under the exclusive legislative list, please. It is not the right of any state to discuss anything that has to do with arm. Assembly, keep off. It's there. It's there in the law. It's there.
What you're quoting.
I am telling you, any issue of arm and ammunition is under the exclusive legislative list. It is never the power of a state assembly to discuss it. However, I think I have said it before. We are talking about insecurity in Rivers State, and I said it that a particular crime will continue to thrive if the people are supporting and harboring the same crime. And in Rivers State, there is no will to actually tackle this. The people are involved, the chiefs, whatever in government and all that. They know what is happening, so they know what to do. If they actually want to tackle this situation, you will see the will that they will demonstrate, and you see this, they will tame it. How could you just walk around Rivers State? You hear killings and all that. Yesterday, a call came. I have to run to Delta State. As we were coming back, a girl sat close to me. She was fidgeting, just shaking in the vehicle. I asked her, "Why are you doing this?" He said, "Now we are approaching Rivers State. This road, I don't want to." I said, "Why are you doing this? Just calm down. We are all together." She was just like that. So what are we saying? So people are so tense and so afraid whenever they are coming to Rivers State. This is not something that we should experience.
Right,
government demonstrate the will, the chiefs and everybody demonstrate the will, and community leaders.
We got your thoughts on that. Thank you very much. And if you're Haggard, newspaper review is over. It's time for the news update.
Every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM. Port Harcourt. News update.